Hi, my name's Kyle Wilson, and I'm one of the owners here at Homecraft Saunas. Every year we get a number of calls or inquiries from customers who are finding an issue with their sauna heater or their control, and oftentimes as we work with them through it, we can help them and isolate the issue and find that it's probably just a common mistake that they've made, whether with their installation or the setup of their sauna heater. And so we want to walk you through certain things today to help you identify those issues, starting with our heaters, our controls, contactor box. It will not encompass everything, but hopefully this is a quick troubleshooting guide that will help you fix your problem. One of the most common issues that we have with our sauna heaters, especially in our classic line, is a high limit trip. In basic terms, what's happening is there's too much heat staying inside the heater, causing it to overheat and trip. Your control will still work. It will show that it has power, but you're not getting power out of your heater, which most oftentimes means it's tripped. And so what you want to do is find on the bottom of the heater, and this is for our classic lineup of sauna heaters, on the bottom of our heater, you'll be able to find the little hole. Inside of there, there's a safety switch. You insert a small object, you'll hear it click back into place, and your sauna will work again. If your sauna is tripped, the question is why? And most oftentimes it's tripped because of an install error. So if you have a non-insulated room, your heater might actually be undersized because so much heat is escaping out of the room. Or perhaps that you haven't installed the temperature sensor according to our instructions, which is in line with the heater, above the heater 2 to 3 inches below the ceiling. Or maybe you've put so many rocks on the heater that heat can't escape and is staying inside. And so you want to make sure you've installed, according to our directions, the temperature sensor, the rocks, ventilation, so that you have a properly functioning sauna heater that will heat up quick and get you nice and hot. A couple of other things just in regards to general sauna heater maintenance is it is good to check your rocks at least once a year. The heat can break down the sauna rocks over time, and so just general maintenance is going over your rocks, checking them, making sure there's no cracks, anything visual that will cause the rocks to break down or even damage the sauna heater. That is one of the things that is important. The other thing is, if you're having a heater that's taking so long to heat up, it is important to remove the rocks. You want to make sure that all the elements are working properly. And so the best way to do that is to remove the rocks and turn the sauna heater on and safely just make sure that the elements are glowing red and that each element is working. Let's move on to some common issues with the sauna control. When the sauna control is hooked up and you have power running from your contactor box to the control, you may try and turn the sauna heater on and you're getting an error code. And there's 3 common error codes that are programmed into our sauna control. And simply put, if you're finding that your sauna control is reading open, that means that there is an open circuit from the control to the temperature sensor. If you're finding that it is reading open, you want to check the line, check the installation of your temperature sensor that is above the heater and running to the sauna control. Once you re-engage that and properly ensure that it's connected properly, the open error will go away and your sauna will turn on. The second common error that you would find is short. And when it reads short, that means there is a short in your connection from the touchpad to the contactor box. And so there's a misconnection from the control to the contactor box, and that's where the error is. And you want to ensure that everything is hooked up properly on the contactor box side to the control side, or that there's no brad nail that's gone into one of your lines to create a short. The last common code is that it will read cold. Our saunas are installed in areas as far north as the Yukon. They will function well. It will read cold because the temperature sensor is reading minus Celsius or Fahrenheit, and so it's simply reading cold. You can still engage the sauna, turn it on and off, and once it gets to temperature, the cold will go away and it will function. Another common question we get in regards to our control is, can it be installed outside? The simple answer is yes. It can go up to temperatures of -40 where it works really well, and yet you want to make sure that the sauna control is not fully exposed to snow or rain. And so building a little cover over top of it, or having even just a 1-foot cover above, will help the longevity of the sauna control. It can be installed outside without any problem, but you just want to make sure that it's going to not be fully exposed to the elements. In regards to the operation of our sauna control, this sauna control has been designed for on and off, Fahrenheit or Celsius, temperature up to 90 Celsius or 194 Fahrenheit, and operation time a maximum of 60 minutes. You can increase time by holding the button down, and after 3 seconds it will engage to add more time or decrease your time, and the same goes for our temperature. And so this is the general operation of our sauna control, so that you can properly set the time and temperature, Fahrenheit or Celsius, as you wish. The last thing we'll touch is the contactor boxes. And we have 2 contactor boxes here at Homecraft that we can supply. For indoor use, you'd get your standard contactor box that looks like this. And for outdoor use, we supply a contactor box that's been retrofitted into a weatherproof electrical box. Regardless of that, the most common issue that you might find is that sometimes there is noise that emits or comes out of the contactor box. It can be a rattling or buzzing sound that you might get. And what we have found is that oftentimes the issue is caused because of a number of things. It can be caused because the connection points in your contactor or in the transformer are loose. And so make sure when your electrician is coming to hook up your contactor box that they are actually going through and checking every contact point, making sure that the screws are secure and that the wires are securely in place. The other reason that is common is that over time, dust and dirt can get inside this box and can cause just a little bit of grit inside the connection points that will cause a humming or buzzing sound. And so you may find that over time there is a noise that comes out, and it's most oftentimes because of dirt that is collected inside or dust, and you need to clean out your connection points. So if you go inside to try and clean it out or just check on it, you want to loosen the connections, blow it out, clean it out properly, and then re-secure the connection points. Another issue that sometimes happens, but is not common, the screws are tightened too much and it actually has cracked the contactor. And so you want to make sure that the contactor and transformer are properly secured, but not overly secured, and the connection points aren't too tight that have caused damage to the contactor, which is causing it to rattle and make a noise. Lastly, just a few other things that we find that pop up every once in a while with customers. If your breaker is tripping on your main panel, it is oftentimes an issue with the wiring. And so you want to make sure that you've installed proper wiring that go with the size of your heater, that is not undersized, and you want to ensure that you're using the proper breaker for the heater that you've chosen, from 4 kilowatt up to 18 kilowatt. In regards to a GFCI breaker, if local code deems it, then you would have to put it in, but if local code does not deem it, we do not recommend that you put the GFCI breaker in, because oftentimes it will cause the elements to trip the main GFCI breaker and your sauna will not run properly. So from us here at Homecraft, we want to thank you for choosing our products, and we want to ensure that our products are working properly for you. So if we haven't answered one of your questions, you can always check on our website under the resources section to get an answer. And if you want to speak to us, you can phone us directly, or if you want to inquire via email, then write us at info@homecraftsaunas.com, and we're happy to answer your questions.